A lot of people in communities like this maybe agree with India Walton on certain things, but they get spooked by the word socialism, defund the police, all these things.
Absolutely.
So to me, I mean, it looks like she's going to lose. It looks like the mayor was very successful in focusing on socialism and defund, and basically distracting from the fact that this is a really poor city and he's been the mayor this whole time.
Yes, and that is one of the key things. So I actually am a political commentator. Okay. So like that's one of the things that I notice the most about what we witness when it comes to progressive races is that I feel like we try to put our best foot forward, and we got to realize that we're not playing a game with people who put their best foot forward. They know how to undermine the good values that we have to spin a different message. I hate to say it, but I feel like progressives always lack in that. They have the heart, you know, I want to change the city, but you don't have the ethics to play the game that the other side is playing. It's easy for me to bash you down because people don't understand it. I feel like we should come out and be more understanding towards people. Yeah, right. You're giving them like the accolade that I can change things. We've heard people can change things all the time. And that's like a change, as I always say, oh, Obama ran on change. Like, but where was the change?
Can I also mention, you're a commentator, I'd love to know what you think. There's something I think is missing, and that's not literally punching them in the face with their corruption. I mean, Byron Brown is corrupt. I mean, let's just call it, if you're not from Buffalo, let me just explain it. This man has been in here for 16 years. There's been multiple investigations of his administration. He was politically in bed with Cuomo. $1 billion came into Buffalo that was supposed to go towards, you know, investing and working people and things like that. Somehow a lot of the money went to Byron Brown's donors. I saw India Walton kind of sort of mention that he's corrupt, but for non-voters like that, yeah, you're going to need something to make you think someone's different, but why not call your opponent what they are, and why not explain the reason you don't have a working sewer system, the reason you don't have transportation services, yes, the reason you can't drive in the street because your tires will go flat, right, is because this man or woman is selling you out.
Yeah, that's it. And I feel like progressives try to play take the high road. Like, we take the high road. We could go all the way from Joe Biden all the way down. It's always the high road. Like, we will never stoop to their level. But, like, that's why these right-wing...
They will.
Yeah, right, they will. That's why they get the money. That's why they get the... Oh, you're going to snake them? You know, that can help us in the long run. You have to make the community feel like you're investing in them. You have to make the community feel like, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose out.
Because the local media is terrible. I mean, I came outside because I can't be next to these people. And I've seen it all over the country. They're not going to inform the people of this corruption. They just make it seem like, oh, it's normal that they take money from all these developers and this and that.
Even, like, we don't call these things out. There's an imbalance in not only the power of, like, you and your job provider, but there's a power imbalance between you and literally what you can say about, like, anything that's going on. Make that more obvious. Like, I'm not telling you that you should vote for me because I'm going to improve things. I'm telling you that the reason why your life is so, like, crappy is because the person that you voted in, not thinking about it, has been ruining your quality of life. Let's talk about the things that actually, like, matter.
And what do people like India Walton do about defund the police and socialism? Because this has been the two things I've seen over the last 2 years, hammered at progressives, socialists, whatever. It doesn't seem like progressives really have an answer for it. She embraced it, but didn't find a way to neutral. All I've heard on the radio over the last few days, socialists. Local TV, socialists. And to me, how do progressives kind of say, yeah, so what? Let's focus on this.
Embrace the ideas. Instead of telling people like, yeah, it's, I always go with the Bernie thing. Socialism, ooh, you can't be scared of it. Apply it to the way people ingest information. I know it sucks and like you really need a lot of like social media campaigners. You need to know how to run a media but like be honest. Hey, you're gonna hear a lot of bad things about socialism. Here are all the lies and how to debunk them from my own mouth. I'm not telling you this because I want you to vote for me. I'm telling you this because it's the honest truth. And you should at least know the honest truth before you do anything else.
Also, how about telling them, no. I'm a democratic socialist. The mayor, he's the socialist. You want to know why? You know what socialism is? It's redistributing money. Your money, yes. The people of Buffalo, your money that, your taxpayer dollars, It's literally going to real estate developers. He is taking your money and handing it to because it's not just that they're giving tax cuts to real estate developers. They're literally handing them money. It's not just cuts, grants, subsidies from the city. So that's called socialism.
And you could even take it a step further. So you hear all these horror stories about it, but it's like, hey, remember when we talked about how like your jobs are leaving and what are the reasons for them? They're taking more money and then paying cheaper labor than taking and raking in all the profits. You get a really terrible building that you have to like find people to live in. You call it low affordable housing, and then you get people used to this low standard of living. Oh, at least it's cheap, but it's like you could have put more effort into it with the money that was actually allocated for it. Look around. Like, I feel like, yeah, that's where these campaigns lack. That's where progressives lack. They don't want to go on the attack because they feel like that makes them look like the Republicans. That makes them look like the enemy, you know. Oh, I thought you guys were the guys of peace. Like, we're not playing a peaceful game. You're trying to do it to make yourself look nice, but explain to people, hey, you think this is socialism? Well, let me show you real socialism. It's happening on an economic scale. I'm going to explain it to you in like a 5-year-old. So you can understand it and say, at least even if I don't care, I know I'm not voting, or at least I'm not wasting my time actually putting forth the effort to go to these polls, to choose somebody who won't mess me up in the long run. And I don't see that happening. I can see that in like the way the people, like you were saying, that's why I was really nodding with you, because it's obvious. And they don't want to do that because it makes them feel like they're aggressive, they're attackers. We want to be the peaceful kind.
It would take a lot for me to credit Donald Trump on anything, but you want to know what? Donald Trump won. We could debate the reasons. There was some racism. There was also a lot of deindustrialization. He won also by punching the Republican Party in the face and punching Hillary, not literally, but figuratively punching Hillary Clinton in the face.
The attack, it makes them look like people like that.
People want a fighter.
Yeah, they want like the reality TV show. They like that, and that's okay. That's fine. The way the people go, the way the people discuss things, the way discourse happens, the way we get down to really understanding how you and I should communicate, that can grow over time. And that's so fine for people to like the hard fighter, you know, I'm not scared of anything, and literally everything you say, I can knock down in a second. That's fine.
But can I also ask you, just broadening this, because we've basically Terry McAuliffe for good. I mean, he's a corrupt best friend of the Clintons, so I don't really care that he lost. But doesn't this have national parallels? Because I've been saying for months, you know, the Squad and Bernie Sanders, like, you're not dealing with people operating in good faith. Like, Joe Manchin is a political terrorist. I mean, Kirsten Sinema, whatever she is. You're not dealing with, like, you're dealing with sharks, corrupt sharks.
Like, when they get the power, when Republicans use the power, and again, I understand what you said about that. It's hard for me to credit Donald Trump with anything, but they galvanized them, they used them, they got what they wanted, and there was no stopping them. They didn't hesitate and say, maybe this will look bad. They don't care about what it looks like as long as it gets done. We can argue the semantics of everything else later, much later. Democrats, socialists, the left in general needs to power themselves up to be able to fight harder about these things that they so care about.
You know what? Yes, run on the issues that you want to raise taxes by 3% to fund social services, that you want to reallocate the police budget, all that stuff. But you know what works even better than that? Literally calling your opponent what he or she is, and that's corrupt. Saying, hey, you know why this city has the 3rd highest poverty rate? Because this man has literally sold the city to real estate developers to basically make 10 blocks beautiful downtown so that yuppie white people could move in at your expense.
You need that anger, because people are going to see that. They're going to see a debate on YouTube, and they're going to be like, wow, whoa, I didn't know there was somebody like that out there. Oh, I don't really care about their position. I care that they sound like they give a damn. I care that they sound like, okay, wow, socialism, I've heard bad things about that, but I know this person's character.
And they sound different.
And they sound different. They sound like they're not here to rake in the cash and then sit in the seat and be like, well, I tried. They sound like they're going to be with me. They're down here.